as we'd like him to be, I suppose. But regardless, we are going to be playing out, continuing the TvPs here on Glittering Ashes LE. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Sydney. He is going to be representing his team Opus V, taking out one Protoss player. Can he take out another? He is Piglet. It's a champ.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Glittering Ashes LE, we have the Indonesian Protoss player himself representing Team GDA. It is Quantel.
Catching up with chat here a little bit. Mines, yeah. They are pretty dang good. That should be marked NSFW. I absolutely agree with you there, Macromasm.
Oh.
As a fellow Terran player, that was chef's kiss.
It was. I also, sorry, my apologies. I thought it was the other way around, but Raza is letting us know that Raza is the younger brother and Zane is the older brother. So a bit of a role reversal there. And we also got confirmation that they also have another younger brother as well. So like we could have like a family kind of show match going on.
The Krensels versus the Sekas. The
go.
blood feud. For generations.
Oh my god. We'll make it happen. Meanwhile,
That's gonna be our good showdown.
And meanwhile, we are getting into this game, and we can see again the vast difference between these players. Quantel gets a kill on the SCV.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Throwing off Piglet a little bit here in the early game. We'll see if that does come into play. But,
he's coming back for more, by the way. He wants another one. He wants another SCV.
This is why Quantel is so scary, man. He's
yeah.
bloodlusted.
Again,
He's vicious.
A very different change of pace here in TvP. Piglet forced to throw down his CC off location. He brings another SCV though, and it looks like he will be able to finally deal with this pesky probe.
Now, there isn't too much to deal with, but it does delay the scouting a little bit from Piglet. I believe he did go in with an SCV scout earlier.
He checked the natural and that's it.
Yeah, so knows that there isn't any proxies or anything, but hasn't been able to confirm the tech yet, which is pretty important.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, that CC still hasn't finished, by the way. Oh my god, the Adept has returned. CC is not here. Piglet, he can't really move down here because of this Adept. Let's wait a little bit longer, and then he can come with everything and try and deal with it.
This is a lot of, this is a pretty massive delay, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Oh my god, and now we have a second Adept as well. Like, he can take this fight, especially if he can dodge the mid-mine shot. Up.
Trying
up.
Ooh, he doesn't quite get it. Very quick on Burrow coming up here from Piglet, and he will be able to deal with the Adepts once again, but another SCV goes down. That CC is a second off from being completed. This is...
He's cracked, mate. He's absolutely cracked. It's Quantel doing so much early game damage. I say so much damage, but again, it's just such a massive annoyance, such a massive delay. Meanwhile, the Oracle is getting here across the map. Piglet never got into the main base. She doesn't know what kind of opener it is, and the Oracle gets all the way into the main.
Yeah, keep in mind that ideally a Terran player would have the orbital command finished by now, and the natural base at least halfway saturated. Piglet is so far behind his original plan right now that he's gonna have to make some very, very major adjustments.
And look at the probes. Look at the worker counts. That's what more can I say? Quantel essentially has double the workers at the moment of his opponent. Reaper's gonna get cleaned up. Oracle dips back into the natural base instead, gonna get more damage. Piglet, a lot of his hopes and dreams hinge on the damage that this drop is about to do.
He can definitely equalize. Probes are very quick to move away.
They are, and they're going to be cleaned up. The final Windmine shot is going to go off on the retargeting.
Nice bit of splash damage here, but Unfortunately, doesn't quite get any hull damage.
Yeah, and now Quantel has got his third Nexus on the way as well. He's sitting back perfectly fine. With the help of these Phoenixes, he's going to be able to deter any kind of drop, even Raven harass if we got there. And Quantel doesn't want to go Mass Phoenix, instead just makes the one and goes straight into Blink.
Which is an interesting choice. I mean, technically one Phoenix can be all you need here, you know, lift up a tank, and he may also be aware that Piglet is not looking so hot economically, so probably won't be able to afford these more expensive units like the tank or the Viking.
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest, this almost feels as if Quantel was watching the last series, which he probably could have. Like, he has popped up.
He was waiting a while.
Yeah, he has popped up in the chat before. Like, he did have to wait for his first round, for his first opponent, which is Piglet, so I'm sure he was paying attention. And again, with one Phoenix, it's just to shut down things like drops or things like Ravens, and now he just blinked into the main. There's no tank.
Yeah, tech force to reposition and reposition again. Does keep, no, I was going to say he does keep the Viking alive, but not even that. Takes out the medevac as well, but at the very least the Raven and the tanks did survive, and Quantel wasn't quite able to kill workers until now.
Yeah, one Adept gets 2 SCVs here at the natural base, again hindering the economy of Piglet. And he's he's got quite a bit to catch up with. Like, again, he still has his upgrades, but again, because of all these delays, there is no +1 timing at the moment. Engineering base still on the way. He does have his 3rd CC finishing up, but Quantel is waiting outside his bases. He's waiting for that base to be taken.
Everything for Piglet right now is hinging on the one push that he's building up for, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely convinced that he'll be able to pull it off. Quantel, okay, he doesn't have too many defenses back at home, but still, it's gonna take a massive error for Quantel now to lose an engagement if Piglet moves out.
Yeah, I think the only thing really keeping Quantel back is the fact that he doesn't have a reinforcement point, and he doesn't have a robo. So he cannot make a war prism, he can't really reinforce across the map. Otherwise, I'm sure he would love to, and we were talking about this Swarm Toss style. He gets his 3rd, he's already got the 4th on the way.
Yeah, Charge about to finish up as well. Was listening in, he is now getting the Robo facility, but by the time that finishes up and by the time the Warp Prism comes across the map, Piglet will have, or should anyway, have a much more fortified position.
Yeah, exactly. I love how he's already preparing himself here at the 3rd base. We have bunkers, we have depots. You know, he's well fortified if a army comes from the south. Not so much here if it comes from the left-hand side. Oh, yeah, he's setting up.
Yeah, boy. Charge has finished, so these cells are trying to jump in. Will charge on top of the auto turrets and take out one of the tanks immediately.
Wow.
Bunker did finish up, and oh, very nice snipe on the Phoenix. Tanks do go down, but the bunker is still standing strong. The bio now surrounding the Stalkers. A lot of SCVs went down, but a very nice defense from Piglet. Will he go for the counterattack, though? I'm not sure if this is the wisest choice.
Yeah, he only has bio remaining. That's the thing. Like, to be fair, that was the timing for Quantel to hit. Like, he hit beautifully just before the wall of bunkers and deepers was set up here in the back line. So that was his moment, and he was able to deal some decent damage. He killed 2 tanks, killed some SCVs, and what's important is that he didn't lose a lot. He lost gateway units, you know? That's the terrifying thing about Swarm Toss, is the fact that they're like cheap, expendable units, so you can just remake them instantly.
They're cheap, expendable, and oh so terrifying when you get enough of them.
I'm sensing some Terran bias coming out, Yakuzaku.
You're sensing some Terran trauma.
No, but I 100% agree. Oh my god, like, this is terrifying. Like, Piglet, he scans, he confirms Quantel is fully saturated on 4 bases as well. And Quantel, he's not tunnel visioning, he is working on some splash damage. Double Robo for double Colossus.
Just rounding up his army as effectively as he possibly can. We're gonna see some disruptors after this, I'm sure. And even after that, I mean, Quantel about to finish up his +2. It really feels like Piglet can't do too much other than turtle up and try to force Piglet to push into him, but he doesn't have that many options of applying pressure on Quantel, even with the drops.
Yeah.
It's so mobile.
It really is. I'm sure Piglet is feeling a little bit safer now, though, as now he has his Ghost, has to wait a little bit longer for his upgrades for enhanced shockwaves. But once that comes out, like, again, we've seen Piglet make some magic happen here. You know, he doesn't need tanks. He doesn't need Widow Mines. At times they can help, though. But Piglet, you know, he is getting a decently rounded out army. The problem is the supplies. The problem is that Quantel will be the first to max out. Again, especially with his booming economy.
5th base being thrown down before Piglet can even finish the 4th.
He doesn't have a 4th on the way, Yaku. It's not. Yeah, I was looking. I was like, there's nothing there. Yaku, it's just 3 bases.
Yeah, well, it's under the assumption that, you know, he might be getting a 4th CC by now, but,
yeah,
you know, I get it. He has been forced to remake his army just to stay alive throughout this game. Now, finally, beginning the production of that 4th base, but like you were saying, Quantel might as well be maxed out at this point.
He is. That's the terrifying thing, Yaku. He is. 4 Colossus are coming across the map. He's diversifying his AoE. We have some Disruptors on the way as well. They're not ready yet, though.
So he's doing his job of zoning with the MPs and even blanketing the rest of the army. Quantel blinks on top of this bio and does sustain a couple of losses, but not too much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, exactly. He takes down the wall, mate. No mining going on here. Piglet on 2 base economy. Bear that in mind. And he's edging his way closer. Piglet is set up here for a concave. He's going in.
We'll lose the base, but may win the engagement, potentially. It's a very good true point to utilize. The blinks are coming out for it. The disruptors on the ground as well. This is starting to look up for Piglet, actually. Never underestimate Vikings.
Oh yeah, the Vikings take down all the Colossus. The splits and the concave were good enough. Piglet will defend, but in the process, he did end up losing his 3rd CC.
I was about to mine out anyway, right?
This is his most important base, Yaku.
It is.
Oh god, his 4th is now his 3rd. It's not even an orbital, and Quantel is on 5 base economy.
Yeah, even despite the lower army supply right now, it is pretty much impossible for Piglet to go for a counterattack, or at the very least, it's an unwise decision for Piglet to go for the counter harass.
Yeah, I would say it's unwise for Quantel to push out right now. I think this is a bit of a misrally. The Colossus, where are you going? Where are you going, Quantel? Ah! the rally. Oh god, they have an observer rally right now. They're gonna be going up the ramp. Oh god, no, they're so exposed.
Yeah, that's a massive tip off for Piglet here. Forces a recall. Doesn't even get the units recalled out yet.
Alright, well, Piglet is in this game. Mate, the death of 2 Colossus for free is huge, mate. Now we only have gateway units. We only have 2 Colossus here to defend. Piglet, he's going across the map. It's now or never, mate.
And it looks like it's gonna be now if those EMPs are any indication of things. Once again, the reinforcements come in to make it just about as good of a surround that you can really get at this point.
Yeah, exactly. 1 Colossus already goes down. The 2nd is on the brink as well. Disruptor about to pop out, though. Again, it helps so much that the production is at this 3rd base. At the same time, DT run by, and that almost drew away Piglet.
Oh. Close, but no cigar. The outer turret was enough to provide vision, and the reinforcements were enough to take it out. Very good EMPs once again coming out from Piglet, but he has to go all the way. He has to be able to make these EMPs count.
Yeah,
he's out of energy.
He really does. A couple of DTs are in the middle of this army as well, but they do get taken out as a scan is thrown down. Vikings are landing. We have a full surround. It looks like Piglet may be able to deal with this, but we have more reinforcements.
Reinforcements from Piglet come in to make a surround. Reinforcements from Quantel come in to make an even bigger surround. This is looking pretty desperate at this point. Again, though, what worries me for Piglet is that these are resources, these are units that Quantel can afford to use. What worries me about Quantel, though, is that he hasn't really made any big commitments out of the gateway style. Swarm Toss is extremely good, but it does fall out of scale pretty early.
Yeah, exactly. You need to eventually get into your splash damage units, into your Disruptors, your Storm, your Colossus. But Piglet, he just keeps resetting them. He just keeps getting the kills, and because of that, Quantel doesn't have a little momentum.
He's trying to find it, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, he's in a really weird position here. He does have a couple of Novas, though, so Piglet is having a hard time engaging. We have a massive Zealot run by.
Once again, SCV's just falling left and right. Piglet may have given up on the economy earlier on, but he didn't mean lose 15 SCVs in the process. Quantel beating this back very, very nicely, trying to target down the Queen. Hot pickup will save the Queen. I spoke way too soon.
Oh my god. Yeah, the Ghost barely managed to survive. I assume that's what you were saying. But the Zealots are being finally cleaned up, not before 20 SCVs go down. Piglet forced to land his main CC. He does technically kind of have a 4th base, but he still can't afford to lose SCVs like that.
Yeah, it's really going to take a miracle for him to get back, at least economically. Honestly, I still kind of do like his army position. He has the ability to go for a flank if properly set up. Very good EMPs, but decent enough purification Novas for the time being.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think we have 1 Nova left. No, they've all been utilized. We have a stim on forward. Colossus gets taken down once again. Piglet is going to take the fight after losing a lot of workers. Like, he's running out of steam. Oh god, there was a a DT run by as that was happening.
How many more? That's what I want to know.
Oh boy, Piglet, he is battered, he is bruised. He is ahead in army supply though right now. Like, overall, he has a much stronger army, and he is moving out across the map. There is still a window here. He can still make this work, especially if he catches these disruptors.
I'm not entirely convinced he's going to.
We'll see. I mean, we've seen Quantel lose high-tech units before.
But not yet.
Yeah, Quantel taking another 2 bases, by the way, as this is happening. What is this, 7 bases? 7 Nexuses? Jesus Christ.
It's a lot is the answer to that.
Yeah. It really is a lot, but here we go, another massive amount of EMPs.
And Purification Nova nowhere near as good looking.
Oh my god, and there we go. He's going to dive on top of this army. The EMPs are just looking too damn good. Piglet takes down the entire army, gets on top of the production, and mate, there is almost nothing left for Quantel.
Just warping in a couple of DTs now because he's absolutely desperate more than anything. All it takes is 1 scan to take them all completely out with the amount of units that Piglet has.
Oh my god, but the blink with the DTs, there's no scan! There's no scan! Oh.
What? How did that happen? GG's called. That was he muling?
I guess he was muling. I don't blame him. Well, I mean, to be fair, he only had 3 orbital. Like, he didn't have a lot of CCs.
True.
To get 2 scan.
Yeah.
I thought he could maybe pull it off. He was taking down all the disruptors, all the Colossus. There was only DTs and Zealots left. But apparently, that is all you need.
1 DT in Dream, although in that case it was a bunch of DTs in Dream. At that point, GG, Quantel takes game number 1, and all of a sudden, I don't know, I still do think that Piglet has a very good chance of making it out of this particular match, but knowing what a wildcard Quantel can be and currently is, there is a very real possibility that it's Quantel instead of Piglet who goes up to face either... My brain is trying to catch up real quick. Going up to face Nux.
Yes.
There we go, in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, they already have an opponent ready and waiting for them in those quarterfinals. But what a wild game. That's a thing, right? Even though I would agree with you. I think Zane is a much more well-rounded player compared to Piglet. Sorry, compared to Quantel, I should say. But Quantel, he's just so different stylistically that it's just really difficult to like switch your styles and switch your mentality like that. As Piglet is on the back foot now.
Yeah, she drops un momento por favor. He is out of the tournament.
Yeah. Boy, I'm just rewatching that fight. Oh god, Piglet had like more than double the army supply. The DTs.
Defensive DTs, pretty good units. You heard it here first. As we load into Blackbird LE, where of course in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a red Terran player coming down from the land of Sydney. He is going to be representing Team Opus V. He is Piglet.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn ALE, we have the Indonesian Protoss player. He is blue, representing Team GDA. Currently up in this series, only needs one more to advance on to the next round. It is Quantel.
In what timeline will we be in, like, where we have Piglet and Zane in the first round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Piglet takes out Zane.
Yeah.
And then in the very next round, Quantel takes out Piglet. It's looking like it could be this timeline, but it's not too late to reverse course.
Look, I think there's a very real reality that we're living in where I know we call Beastlork the hype killer a lot of the time, and for a good reason, but in these DreamHack qualifiers, because Beastlork isn't here, it's Quantel, mate. Like, oh my god, he just comes out of nowhere, he doesn't play in anything, he rocks up, and bam, he's up 1-0. What a guy.
So what I'm hearing, Light, is that we need a show match between Beastlork and Quantel.
Mm-hmm. Oh god. Or we need a series of show matches with like all the favorites against both of them, and we'll see how many upsets they can do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or one after the other.
Aye. But yeah, what a wild game one. Again, of course, like our heart bleeds a little bit here for Piglet. Like, he's such a great player, but again, he's up against such a strange. I don't know if strange is the right word. Just a very different kind of Protoss player here. Och. They do call him Quantel the Och.
There you go. Much like Ender.
He is related to Ender. Oh boy, but hopefully Piglet is able to shake that loss off and be able to calm down a little bit more here. You know, I'm sure Piglet's more aggressive style of drops and counterplay can be a little bit more effective on a map like Blackburn, maybe.
Yeah, it's a much smaller map, and we've seen Piglet utilize Blackburn to great advantage, at least when it came to his harass when he was up against Zane. Towards the end there, it was not Piglet's aggression that won him the game.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy. And we'll see where this kind of takes us, because thankfully Quantel is opening up with a much more standard opener. He's opening up, you know, Blink. It's what we all expect to see. There is no Stargate, there are no Oracles. I know it was a while ago, but that is how Quantel started game one.
It really was, wasn't it? That one probe.
Oh yeah.
The absolute MVP in that entire game for Quantel.
Yeah.
Wow, how many kills did he get? 4 SCV kills towards the end there? I was like...
I forgot, man. I blocked that from my memory. The fact that Piglet lost, like, it took him like half an hour to get his natural up and running. Like, it was crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah. It honestly did feel that way, you know. I think the orbital command was delayed by like a good solid minute and a half, which, you know, when you scale it to real time, you know, when you scale the StarCraft units to real time, might as well be 24 hours. But a very interesting positioning, or rally I should say, coming out here from Piglet's Mind Drop.
Oh, exactly.
Quantel caught completely off guard, but a very quick reaction coming out from him.
Oh, exactly. We do have both Widow Mines here forcing a lot of lost mining time. There's a lot of retargeting. The one in the main base finally goes off, and so will the one in the natural.
Ooh. A little bit of further fire happening here from that mine, and we'll still get a scout off, so, you know, not getting... Only getting 2 probes here isn't the end of the world. What could be the end of the game is this Warp Prism.
Mate, we have 4 gateways ready and waiting to go. Quantel, he's pushing, again, with vanilla Stalkers. They don't have Blink, but this is a very awkward timing, a very strong timing as well. We do have a full wall off, though, by Piglet.
Yeah, if all the vanilla units, Protoss gateway units, vanilla Stalkers are arguably the best at tank, very nicely placed. Not in range of the Stalkers just yet.
Yeah, exactly. Again, the solid reaction there by Piglet. Honestly, his scout was pretty important. He saw the mass amount of gateways with his drop. So now he's fully aware. He doesn't have a tank in the main base, though, so he's looking a little bit vulnerable in Quantel. He's looking to just blink in.
Like so.
Oh, exactly. And with that blink...
a Raven!
Oh, God, he gets the Raven, and he will be able to push his way in a little bit further. Boy.
Blinks out. Already some decent damage being dealt by Quantel.
Yeah, behind this Quantel, he expands, he takes his third base. I think he's recognized, okay, I can't quite end the game here. Let me start charge. Let me start all these gateways as well. So he will back off, and Piglet, he can breathe a sigh of relief. Whew, he has survived.
And it's not that far off when it comes to his macro either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hasn't lost too many ACVs, you know. He's still getting stim at about the right time. Yeah, Stim is about to finish up. We did see a little bit more damage done by that Widow Mine. Only 2 probes though, so nothing too significant, but I guess damage is damage. And Quantel this time is going for a much faster Templar Archives. Yeah, I'm so used to DTs at this point, like that. It's kind of weird seeing Templar Archives now, but Storm is definitely a really good way of zoning out the Terran army. Archons, of course, extremely beefy against bio-tank styles.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, again, just a very strong change of pace. Last game, we saw Quantel rely a lot on Disruptors, DTs, and Colossus. This game is going to be relying a lot more on Charge Lots, Archons, and I imagine eventually Storm.
As it's get research, yep. Templar being thrown now, just charge up a little bit of energy. Piglet has a much better army for the time being. Quantel still in the middle of his transition. Piglet scans, he sees, and he backs away for now.
Oh boy, exactly. When I feel like now Quantel is at his most vulnerable. You know, Storm is still only halfway done. He doesn't really have a lot of splash damage. Sure, he has Charge Outs and Blink Stalkers, but that's really it. He doesn't even have any Archons right now. But Piglet, instead, he's a little bit more preoccupied, staying at home and taking his third instead of attacking. I feel like he may be a little bit scarred from that previous game. I think he wants to, again, just make sure he can secure his bases and get them up and running instead.
Yeah, he's well aware what happens in a game when he's, you know, not able to show off his macro and his late game control.
Exactly. So I am a little bit concerned here for Piglet because he's giving Quantel a lot of time. He already has 4 High Templar in that War Prism, banking up that energy as Storm is completed. Oh boy.
And the Ghost Academy isn't done yet for Piglet.
No, it's not done. There's no Ghost. There's no EMPs. Quantel, he's coming.
Coming with a vengeance. Widow Mine will land on a couple of these zealots. Beautiful storms, blanketing the entire Bioforce and even the ramp as well. Warping right in the face of Piglet right now. But this is a decent position. Not good enough to fight against the Storm, though. Yeah,
but you know what? The Storms have just run out. It was so close. They were probably some of the best Storms that Quantel could have hoped for. But the concave, the defensive position, Piglet defends anyway.
Very nicely done here from our Red Terran player. And he is able to trade pretty efficiently, taking out an Archon and those high-tech Templar. But he does lose 15 more SCVs in the process. You know, Piglet hasn't quite gotten to that mid-game Terran production yet, where he can just coast off of mules and not need as many SCVs. Not just yet.
Oh god, exactly. I mean, he may have had to pull a lot of SCVs to help defend there against the push of Quantel, but at least he survives. He's not that far behind. He can make up for it. You know, he's got mules. He's got all that potential. So he's in an okay position. Not amazing, but pretty good.
Let's put it this way, it's a position that should have killed him. Let's be real.
Yeah, mate, he stood in so many of those storms. Let's be real. I'm shocked that he survived. I'm sure Quantel is shocked as well. So he himself is attempting to transition. We have the 4th base on the way. It's a gold, by the way. He is getting Colossus. He is getting those Disruptors as well.
And we'll see if he's going to be able to, I wouldn't want to call it catch lightning in a bottle, but essentially win engagements twice in a row. Because it's going to be a lot tougher for him this time. Piglet actually has ghosts now. They have quite a lot of energy on them. I don't believe Seismic... No, Enhanced Shockwaves has finished up yet. Yeah, he's not researching it. He's preserving his minerals and his resources for now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't started it, because he's usually very, very adamant about it. I think it may have slipped his mind, to be honest. It may just be a little bit of a mistake. Hopefully he does realize it, and hopefully he does start working on it before he decides to push out.
Like so.
Yes, he's just making sure his bases are safe and sound. Fourth base is on the way, and now we've entered like a little bit of a lull here. Like, that timing didn't quite work for Quantel, so it's going to take him a while to really get the rest of his AoE up and running. Piglet himself working on his own upgrades, 2-2 on the way. So we can take a moment to breathe here. And we'll see how this goes, because, mate, Quantel, he just doesn't stop expanding. My god.
He is a Swarm Toss.
He is.
You thought Swarm Toss was a style? No, it's actually Quantel's title.
It's a lifestyle, mate. That's what it is. It's... Oh my god. And I think the thing that I'm most afraid of is the fact that Piglet is being so passive. We haven't been seeing very many drops. We didn't have auto turret harass with the Raven. As to be fair, the Raven died earlier, but you know what I mean? There just hasn't really been a lot going on here to hinder and stifle Quantel's economy.
Yeah, I still want to be optimistic for Piglet here because, you know, again, he is the king of late game TvP and arguably late game in general in the region, but Quantel has a very nice backbone, and because he went for a Swarm Toss style, at least initially, it doesn't take much for him to reinforce his main army.
Oh yeah. We'll see as Quantel, he's here for round number 2. Quickly looking at his army, he has 3 Colossus, 3 Disruptors. He still has his High Templar for Storm. He has literally every single form of splash damage. It's insane. But he opts not to push in. Interesting. He was just posturing and in the end backs up.
Yeah, I guess he was anticipating a bit of a move out from Piglet. Just trying to get in front of that before it can actually happen.
Yeah, maybe he was anticipating Piglet to like expand aggressively and take the triangular third instead, maybe. So he was looking to try and deny that. But Piglet, he's got Census Towers up and running again. He is very well fortified at home. And finally, now that he's 200 supply, he is moving out.
Yeah, catches a decent number of these Zealots already. Decent snipes. Quantel trying to come around with a full surround, but the other Zealots not quite in position yet. Beautiful EMPs! Taking out just about half the health of these Colossus. Piglet is... Oh, Quantel, sorry, is down to only 1. And Piglet is starting to win this engagement. I say starting, he was always going to win this engagement. What happened to those Zealots that were in North? Did it just die quickly?
Yeah, I mean, they just got EMP and they got evaporated. Unfortunately, the storms were not good enough. The target fire and the splitting was insane there by Piglet. And again, you were completely right. Piglet, he is unrivaled when it comes to his late game army control if he's able to get there. And that's exactly what he did. He just chilled at home. He didn't give a damn what the Protoss player was doing. He just cared about himself, got maxed out, and just like that, he dominates in the fight.
And now he just needs to do that 2 or 3 more times and he wins this game.
I mean,
not even 2 or 3 more times, 1 or 2.
I mean, there's nothing left. There's a handful of Stalkers. There's 3 Disruptors, I guess, and maybe they can get some miracle engagements. I think Piglet is respecting his opponent too much. I don't think he really realized how well that fight went for him.
Yeah, I guess he definitely didn't realize that Quantel spent his bank trying to remax here and still hasn't remaxed just yet. These Disruptors are something that Piglet has to respect.
Ooh.
And look at that split, so clean, so fresh.
My.
Twice there.
The splits are insane. We have 1 more Purification Nova going off, but it will not connect. The target fire is absolutely insane. Another Nova goes off, does get 2 ghosts, but there's just too much bio on the ground.
Yeah, I really don't see a way for Piglet to let go of the lead that he has. Sure, a lot of his army supply is in medevacs, but a lot of it is also in actual fighting units.
Oh, God. Yeah, it looks like Quantel will barely be able to push this away for the time being, but with the reinforcements, Piglet, he can still hold on. And here we go, he's taking more bases for the first time this series. Like, he has a good economy. He doesn't have to worry so much about scanning back at home and protecting his mineral lines. He's feeling a lot more safe and sound. But as all this was happening, Quantel was transitioning into Skytoss. You know, we do have our Stargates and we do have some Tempests.
Yeah, it makes sense. He has been on 5 bases for a very long time, now finishing up his 6th base as well. Swarm Toss is not a composition that scales well as the game continues, even if you throw in Colossus and Disruptors on top of that. So I do like that Quantel is going for a more, you know, effective late game army. I still have to wonder if it's going to be enough to go up against Piglet's beautiful snipe on the Disruptors before any Purification Novas can land.
Oh my god!
Any Purification Novas! None of the Novas are landing here.
Oh my god, he takes out all 4 Disruptors before a single Nova lands, but we have 2 more behind this.
Okay, the Nova does land this time, but only takes out 2 Marauders.
Yeah, again, the target fire is crazy here from Piglet. He has no fear. Sometimes he should, but here he doesn't, and it is working out beautifully for him. Maintaining a supply lead, but I don't know if he's necessarily taken note of... Okay, he has. He knows that now there are Tempests on the field. We have Vikings on the way.
Vikings and plus 2 ship weapons coming down now. A couple of EMPs, that's all. A couple of EMPs and good enough target fire, that's all Piglet really needs at the moment.
Oh boy. And just like that, he does end up hitting this goal base. 6 more probes go down. Quantel is on the way, does get scanned. Piglet is well aware of the army, of the positioning of the army.
And so he just backs away, takes out whatever he can in his retreat. 6 probes, a nice little bit of damage here, you know, whatever he can do to really narrow the work deficit. And most importantly, he didn't lose any of his important units here.
Yeah. Like, he's still got a really great ghost count. He didn't really overinvest into that aggression either. Again, he is giving his opponent a lot of time, but again, he's also feeling pretty confident against this kind of army. Oh my god, the EMPs!
Get just about every single unit here in the fight, but unfortunately that is a very narrow position, so Piglet not really feeling the engagement, decides to back away a little.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Oh god, especially because after that massive engagement we had a couple of minutes ago, Quantel has been able to remax with a bit of a superior army. I say a little bit because, again, it still does come down to control. Like, the EMPs have been insane that we haven't been able to see Quantel land a storm for quite some time now. To be fair, he only has 1 high tempo.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I don't recall bleh. I do believe he stopped producing them for a while. Beautiful disable on this super battery. And should be able to take out this Nexus without too much issue.
Yeah, mate, the entire army is responding to this drop, and at the same time, Piglet is going to be hitting the fresh base here towards the south, just like that. Piglet, I was about to say, he does get some worker kills here towards the north, and also here towards the south. I thought he was going to get the Nexus.
Yeah, I thought he was going to get 2 Nexuses, but still, this is really good damage for him. Tempests, though, are very scary right now. There's really not a whole lot to keep them at bay.
Yeah, exactly.
They do outrange the Vikings.
They do outrange the Vikings, but again, another blanket EMP on all those fuckers. Oh!
Gets a very big chunk of the bio of Piglet. Unfortunately, he was fighting in a choke point there, and that has to benefit the Purification Novas and the Disruptors. Quantel, I'm not really sure if he can fight all of these Vikings, but he's gonna try. He has Stalkers on the ground. He kills the bases. The EMPs are very good, though.
Oh my... Yeah, he's struggling so much to deal with all of these Vikings. There are just too many of them. It looks like the Vikings will be able to clear out the army in the sky. With the pull of the boys as well, the Stalkers just are not enough.
Very good start to that engagement here for Quantel, but Piglet, with the backbone of his army, with the better upgrades, is able to keep this at bay for now. Quantel trying to reinforce this with Stalkers, but I'm looking at the Planetary Fortress here, Light. I'm looking at the fact that these Vikings can land at any point and still have better upgrades than the ground weapons of Quantel.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm most worried about, is that Piglet has a lot of supply in these Vikings, and there isn't necessarily a lot for them to do. There's a single carrier on the way. I love that Quantel is, again, just switching things up and going for a more ground toss-oriented composition because of all these Vikings. So Piglet has quite a bit of almost dead supply.
Yeah, pretty much. Best case scenario, he's able to land the Vikings here before the engagement and maybe go for a bit of a flank. He could. I mean, I guess he could try to go for a surround, but even that's pretty risky when you don't have smart solos.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and because of this ground toss army, ideally you want, as a Terran player, you want to be getting into Liberators, right? You want something a little bit more, robust, especially in zoning out the army. So we'll see. Thankfully for Piglet, Quantel is still producing a couple of Skytoss units. Like, we have another carrier on the way. I believe there was a Tempest as well.
Yeah, he's producing Tempest and Carriers once again, try to remake that Golden Armada. These are very expensive units, and Quantel can afford them for now, but I don't know. With how efficiently Piglet has been trading throughout the entire game, series, and bracket, I don't know. I'm doubting the choice to go back into Sky Toss a little bit.
Yeah, I am as well. Like, what do you like, mate? Look at the sheer amount of Vikings. Why are you making Tempest right now? Aye. Just like that, the carriers and Tempest get taken out. We do have a new connecting here on the gold base.
Yeah, love to see it. Every single probe there has been taken out, and is that a DT? That is a DT.
He's back from game one. Ah. Oh god, as we see another Nova. Oh my god, the Disruptor's just so exposed!
Yeah, unfortunate position here for Quantel.
Oh, mate, and just...
everything is going down once again.
Yeah, with one little mistake, he just lost 6-7 Disruptors in the blink of an eye, and just like that, Piglet, it looks like he has finally broken through.
Yeah, we're kind of at the point where now Piglet can just sort of A-move across the map and not worry about a thing. GG is called. Piglet will tie up that series sideways 1-1 and bring us to our ace match.
GG, well played. Piglet does it. He's able to tie things up again. Like, if he's able to get into the rhythm of things, if he's able to get his ideal late game army, he can be beautiful. He just has to get there.
Yeah, and he got there massively in game number 2 on Blackburn. Of course, the gold base helped a little bit, but yeah, for the most part, that was just Piglet having some beautiful defense against all of the pushes that Quantel threw his way, and from there, just building up his own army, getting a very, very strong ghost count, and go for the counterattack.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, I almost did forget, but we do have the third map here. God, I was just a little bit distracted, but the third map is going to be Berlingrad.
Yeah. Getting a little... well, I guess I wouldn't call it whiplash here, because Blackburn, as you mentioned, still a very short map. It's just that with how it's laid out, there is the option to go into the late game, and we know Piglet, he loves that late game, and why is this 2v2?
Oh, that is...
alright, let's go!
Wait, what? Oh, okay. My apologies. Looks like the lobby wasn't ideal. Oh, do you have another one?
What?
Why'd you invite me? It's the wrong lobby. Tell him to remake.
No, it's fine. They just need to switch back to
no. It's not the Blizzard version.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Could you kindly ask them to leave the lobby so we can remake?
Yeah, I'm telling them that we're remaking right now. Because it's, not ladder edition.
Yeah. All good. But here we go. We are getting ready for game number 3 for the ace match. Oh boy, mate, all our series so far, they go the distance.
Yeah, every single series that we've casted has gotten to the ace match so far. It's one of the things I really like about specifically Oceania / Rest of Asia. When it's just Rest of Asia and when it's just Oceania, you don't get to see that. You don't get to see the style clashes as much as we do now.
Yeah. It's great to see. It's a great region. We love it. And as we are getting into this, I guess we'll touch on it afterwards, because as a tease, mate, there have been a lot of updates. Like, we haven't really been able to, we've just been so busy getting into game after game after game. We haven't really addressed the bracket. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Slowly but surely, as we conclude this best of 3 match on Berlingrad LE, where, of course, in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner, we have a red Protoss player coming down from the land of Indonesia. He is, of course, going to be representing GDA team, otherwise known as Team Gadot. He is Quantel.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Australian Terran player himself representing Opus V. It is Piglet. Alright, mate. We are here. Quantel, he's had a taste of what Piglet has to offer in the late game. I can't imagine he's going to allow the game to get there again, right?
It's going to be proxy VPs. I'm calling it now. I'm calling it now.
I mean, you did call it right with Zane, to be fair.
There we go.
Oh, God. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on Quantel and his probes if they end up moving out on the map. But yeah, this kind of map does lend towards that. You know, Berlingrad, shortest rush distance map in the map pool. There's a lot that you can do aggressively. And to be fair, I'm pretty sure Quantel originally planned to end the game with that storm timing.
Yeah, that was honestly a very, very, very... a very powerful push coming out his way. I didn't even expect Piglet to be able to hold that. And he had to sacrifice 15 SCVs, practically a mineral line, to stay alive. Any other Terran player, I think, would have fallen to the storm timing Quantel. But not Piglet.
Yeah. He literally weathered the storm. It's crazy. I don't know how he did. I'm going to have to rewatch because, again, like, I don't think he was really avoiding the storms. Like, he was just sitting in them and he
I mean, he has
survived
a lot of
it.
marauder.
True. Like,
he had a decent medevac count, but he didn't have that many medevacs either.
Yeah, again, I'm just so shocked that he was able to repel that attack. I'm definitely going to be rewatching that later. But here we go. We do see a bit of a divergence. No longer a Twilight Council opener from Quantel, switching things up a little bit, and Piglet will be able to see this with his Reaper.
Yeah, kind of what he went for in game number 1, and Quantel was able to use it to great effect, but of course, a lot of that did come down to Piglet not being prepared for a Stargate opener. Now that he has scouted what's coming his way, he should be a little bit more prepared. He should be able to have mines and or marines in position. We'll see. Yeah, especially with the scouts, you know, you can be even more safe. And oh my god, as somehow the Adept gets into the main base, is able to scout the opener and knows 100% that it's a 1-1-1. It's not any kind of crazy 3 racks or anything like that. How crazy is it that we haven't seen the 3 racks from Piglet?
Yeah, like, I almost want to say Piglet doesn't really do that, but I still remember the time that he proxy marauded probe. So he's definitely got it in him.
I guess he just hasn't felt like he's needed to use it just yet, you know? He's like, I'm saving it for players who I'm really worried about.
I guess so, mate. I guess so. And we do see Piglet completely prepared here for the Oracle. The Oracle just now coming out across the map. There is one of those Widow Mines behind the gas guys, or another one on top of the production, or on top of the ramp.
Yeah, just in case. There is, of course, a little bit of a window that the Oracle can come in from, but it's not going to get that much damage. And if it does come in from those uncovered angles, there's plenty of time for the Marines and for the Vikings to readjust.
Yeah, exactly. Quantel has to be oh so careful with this Oracle. He dives in and it looks like he will be able to delay the third CC up.
Oh, the mine goes off and immediately takes out that Oracle. It is also the only Oracle that Quantel got here. That didn't get any probe kills either. So
yeah,
a little bit of a little bit of a sunk cost here.
Honestly, a great start for Piglet. He shuts down the opener of Quantel, essentially wasted resources going into that Stargate, going into that Oracle, and Piglet even sneaks in once again with his Reaper and confirms the Twilight Council follow-up.
It is researching. Still gonna keep my... I'm still gotta be keeping my eyes on Quantel a little bit here. You know, throughout the series, he has shown that no matter what, he wants to be aggressive in the early game, and he's doing it once again a little bit. You know, not a particularly dedicated push, just a way to try to contain Piglet. But I've got to keep our eyes on his reduction. I do feel like the onus is on him a little bit to keep Piglet at bay.
Yeah, exactly. This was a bold move by Quantel to move out before having Blink, before having any kind of real maneuverability with his units, and just like that, he ends up losing 2 of his Adepts and 1 of his Stalkers.
Yeah, not the best trade in the world, but he has been able to shave off the Marine count.
Yeah, he has, to be fair. At the moment, we only have 1 tank as well, so the main base is looking a little bit vulnerable. At the same time, Piglet, he comes across the map with a Viking ready for that harass.
Drop?
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna do it!
Ah. Do you have a little bit of Viking harass here in the main base of Quantel? At the same time, do we have some high ground vision? No, we do not. I was worried about maybe a potential blink into that main base, but he doesn't have a sentry for hallucination, doesn't have an observer.
Quick trying to blink on top of this tank, but not feeling it just yet. You know, again, not entirely sure what's behind that wall, so
yeah,
not taking a risk.
Piglet was also thinking about that as well. Like, he was waiting for any kind of observer to snipe it with the Raven, just in case Quantel was going into the main. And after all said and done, Quantel, you know, he gets his third up and running. You know, he's getting it fully saturated, and once again, not going for a Colossus, but for Storm.
Very quick Storm. That old Swarm Toss plus High Templar style. He's even getting a little bit of a proxy on the map. This is mostly just to be a reinforcement point, as he has no robo facility yet.
Yeah. It's really weird, not gonna lie. It's like, I always find it odd when a Protoss player doesn't get a robo, just even for War Prisms. So he's trying to make up for that fact, and oh my god, he's working on a pretty big gateway explosion.
It's looking pretty massive. At the moment, the High Templar have been warped in. They will be working on getting their energy up and running.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see an Archon or 2 here, just to try to take the tank shots.
We'll see how this works. Like, I want to say Quantel can hit hard here with Storm and Chargels, but at the same time, Piglet is well prepared. He has Widow Mines, he has a wall set up, 2 walls even, 2 bunkers as well. He only has 1 tank, which is a little bit worrying, but like, just like the previous time, he has a lot of Marauders, so he can soak some Storms.
Yeah, that's the thing that really makes me wonder about this, how this unit dynamic will play out. Because, you know, without Immortals or Archons, and there's an Archon now, but it is only 1. You know, without a healthy count of those 2 units, it feels like, you know, Protoss can't really push into an entrenched Terran position. But because there's only 1 tank, you know, there isn't as much entrenchment as it could be.
Speaking of, mate, the Zealots, they all get into a choke point. Every single Zealot goes down on both sides. We do have a couple of Storms here, but again, the Marauders, they can just tank them.
The Marauders can absolutely tank the Storms, and honestly, it also felt like the Storms were coming in a little bit late as well. This was, you know, as good as the defense was for Piglet on Blackburn, it's even better now.
Yeah, man, he only lost 3 SCVs. That's absolutely insane, mate. Ay. Also, I'm sure Piglet's heart skipped a beat a little bit because he was scanning, trying to figure out what his opponent was doing. He finished the sensor tower, and then he saw just red all over the place. He was like, oh my god. But it finished just in time so he could reposition.
And reposition he shall. Very good. Once again, a fantastic position for Piglet, the Liberator out here right now, to just be able to deal with the Archons and the Zealots a little bit more effectively. Straight up the most efficient trade that you can really get as in this scenario has been gotten by Piglet, and he has nothing to worry about for the
I
time
mean,
being.
mate, the first wave was the strongest. Quantel tries again for round number 2, and it does literally nothing. He he barely scratched any of the supply depots. The wall was solid. Piglet deflects it beautifully, and now he can go for a pretty massive counterattack. Quantel, I'm really concerned about him. Thankfully, he does have 2 Templar here with some Storm. But mate, there's no War Prism to keep them safe. Like the EMPs, the EMPs! Ah!
Like so. Piglet, overwhelming when it comes to the supply count. He's got literally more than twice the army supply.
Yeah, exactly. This is a little bit of a zealot run by, but with the reinforcements have been left at home. They completely deflect that run by, and now this base is so vulnerable. GG gets called!
And Piglet will take that series 2-1.
Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations to Piglet. That was that was a bit of a nail biter, especially after game 1. After game 1, I was so scared for Piglet. A little bit of bias going on here for our boy. You know, he is the ANZ champ, the most recent ANZ champ, and yeah, it would have been heartbreaking to see him fall so early on in the bracket.
I think it really does go to show you how adaptable Piglet can be in that scenario. I'm right with you there, Light. I was really worried for him after game number 1. I thought, oh no, the you know, the way that Quantel is just really able to disrupt his opponent's mindset and his opponent's comfort level, I suppose. You know, really throw them off. Did get to him a little bit in game number 1, but after game number 2. I was feeling a lot more optimistic for him, and game number 3 just kind of proves that, in the end, I really should have been more worried for Quantel than for Piglet.
Yeah, I'm surprised Quantel tried to go for a similar timing that he went for in game number 2. We saw, like, I guess we saw it barely not work, so he was like, oh, maybe I can execute this a little bit more, a little bit tighter, right? I can refine this and hit a little bit quicker and hit a little bit faster, but Piglet was that much more prepared. Mate, that push wasn't even close.
No, yeah. And with that, Piglet will be advancing. He already has an opponent here. We're not in the qualifying match yet, but we are in the final match before the qualifying match. It is going to be Piglet versus Nux in another TvP, if my memory serves me correctly. It was...
Z.
No, Dash. Yeah, Dash was the Filipino Protoss player. Nux is the Zerg player. And so now we're getting something a little bit different, but that is not the only result that we have so far in the bracket, Light. You alluded to it a little bit before we got into Berlingrad. A lot has happened here in the bracket.